start the show with some New York-inspired style. Please welcome Kimberly Selden.
Hey, everybody. Hey,
this is beautiful.
Gorgeous. How are you?
I'm good.
Don't
I'm happy you invited me
in that hot pink. I like that.
Thank you. It's nice to brighten it up in the winter months,
I think we need it. Yeah, I do.
A little bit of sunshine. Yeah. So I'm happy you invited me to your beautiful home here.
My little New York, my urban pied-à-terre. Isn't this sexy? It's really hard when you want to talk about New York style because, of course, everybody's from everywhere. Nobody's really born in New York City, or at least most people aren't. So there's a lot of styles that come from somewhere else. But I think what makes New York City so exciting and so special is its industrial vibe, which has been popular, of course, here in Canada. So this is great. It works for us. And we wanted to bring in a set that sort of spoke to that, mixing the industrial with the creature comforts of home, because that's really important to us as well. So we went to Avenue Road, found this curved sofa, which is a luxury item right away, because isn't it gorgeous? Most
cool piece I've ever seen. There's something very retro about it, and I don't know if it's just the color. But there's something very modern about it too.
It has kind of a 60s vibe, which I think suits really. It's sophisticated, it's contemporary. I love the shape of it. It's a nice soft alternative to those hard clunky sectionals that a lot of people will rely on. Yeah, so I think it's beautiful, and it really helps to soften a space. One thing that we think about when we think about New York style is how masculine it often is. And when you introduce curves into a masculine space, it helps soften psychologically. So it's kind of interesting to have that masculine look, but nice curves like the sofa, like the round table in front as well.
Yeah, I like the fact that we have curves, don't you?
You know, I'm kind of stuck with mine.
Whatever, so own it. We're curvy, own
it. Exactly. So we also love the idea that people do a lot of traveling, and particularly New Yorkers. They're everywhere. They're jet setters. They go everywhere. So there's found objects. There's a calligraphy brush on the table there that's from Japan. There's a fossil from somewhere else. The chair that you see over there, it doesn't necessarily match, and that actually is, by the way, called the chair. Oh, it's from a designer, Hans Wagner. So it's from the 40s. It's beautiful. It's vintage. It doesn't necessarily have to match, but there has to be a similar vibe. Right. So avoid that temptation to do something eclectic, which is a word you hear a lot. Oh, don't worry, you can mix anything. It's eclectic. No, not true. Wrong. You would never dress eclectically. You would never wear flip-flops and a fancy party dress and a baseball hat, right? No, it would look like you forgot your medication. So you don't want to do that to your house either. You pick kind of a thread and a vibe and you stick with it. So that's one thing I think, if you had to sum up, if I had to sum up New York City style, it's about confidence. New Yorkers are extremely confident. It's in everything you meet about them. I find them super friendly. Yeah. And we are, in fact, one of my favorite New York designers, I'm going to grab this book, is a guy named Vincent Wolf. Never been trained, by the way. So for those interior designers who are watching the show and they get really hung up on they didn't go to the right school, don't worry about it. This guy is fabulously talented, never did any training. And when we do our 14th Design Express trip, which is coming up, you know how I take people every year to a different city? Yeah. We're doing New York City this year. Wow. We're going to Vincent Wolf's house. Amazing. Hello. So that's going to be really fun. April 30th to May 4th. So if you want to learn more about interior design in New York City and step inside some private homes, come with us to New York City. That's going to be a good one, Kimberly. I got to get on one of these Design Expresses. You got to come. Here's the other thing. I'll call in sick for you. Okay, no one will notice. No one will notice. The other thing I'm going to say about New York is that all of my friends that live in New York, and maybe it's because we're just not making enough money, but they all live in teeny tiny little apartments. It seems to be the thing. You know, unless you are a millionaire, you've got sort of a tiny space, and I've noticed that's what's happening here with this furniture as well. They are small spaces because real estate is expensive, but what I think is key, and I'm glad you brought it up, is they're not timid spaces. So even though they're small, big statement pieces like the feather headdress on the wall, big artsy art lamp pieces like this one, this 3-prong lamp that you can move around. It's got a dimmer switch on the foot. So make a statement where it matters. In the artwork, in your lighting, and in displaying some of the objects that you found as you travel. Yes. And part of it is that they spend most of their time outside of their apartments, right? Yeah, and you know what? They're out there living. And there's a lot to be said for living in a small space, because I have a little condo, and there's a certain intimacy and comfort. And you feel quite cocooned, particularly I find in the winter.
Yeah.
You feel cocooned and safe and happy and grateful for your tiny little gem of a space. So
yeah, you know, less is more, unless you get in a fight with your husband, and then more is more. You're like, where do I go? I'm going to go to the bathroom. Don't talk to me.